On today's show, Ja Morant goes off for 40 points against the San Antonio Spurs in a clutch game. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Bucks, and the top of the East, Big Dave, is as crowded as it could be.
Clogged up like a bad toilet.
Nick Angstadt, Locked On Mavs. Dave Watson, Locked On Bulls. We got you here. The most fun NBA national show ever. Thursdays, Locked On NBA. Let's go.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome. You are locked on to the NBA. My name is Nick Angstadt, host of the Locked On Mavericks podcast. Thanks for making Locked On NBA your first listen every single day. We are free and available on all platforms, including YouTube, where you can subscribe to the channel. Guys, thanks so much for checking us out. Joining me, as always, on a Thursday, host of Locked On Bulls. What you got for me, Big Dave Watson?
I got what I always got for you. Nothing but unconditional love and jokes. That's all I got.
The most fun national NBA show that exists. Locked On NBA Thursdays. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, let's dive into it. 9 games on the night. We'll get to 9 and 30, I guess, is what we'll title this one. 9 and 39 probably is what we'll end up being.
Not bad.
Let's start with our first game. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Milwaukee Bucks. How many times have we started a national NBA show with the Cavaliers? Sans LeBron James, right?
Dude, it's been a while.
Not often, but the Cavs get the win 115-99 against the Bucks. A lot to break down in this game, but I just want to start with, I think the Cavs are getting an all-star.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And his name is going to be Darius Garland. That dude is truly, truly special. You don't think it's just Darius?
Are we sure it's Darius Garland? Are we sure it's not Jarrett Allen?
No. Put your money down on Garland. I'm putting my money down on Garland. Go to Bet Online and put your money down on Darius Garland. But you got my man. I like Jarrett Allen a whole lot. He's got a shot to make it, but Darius Garland is the star. He's the one.
I talked to Chris Manning, our host of Locked On Cavs today, and he thinks it's going to be Jarrett Allen. But yeah, we'll see. Either way, those two guys plus Evan Mobley, they make this thing work, right? These guys have lost. How much has this team been through this year where they would have just folded in past years? Colin Sexton out for the year. Ricky Rubio, huge part of their success early in the year, is now out for the year. They lose Lauri Markkanen in this game. He's out. Like, they just keep losing guys, and guys keep stepping up in their place. And in this game, that confidence really shone through. And they got the tune of 57 bench points to Milwaukee's 15. Kevin Love and Cedi Osman off the bench were massive. Cedi Osman in the second quarter, when the Cavs really turned this one around, he had 4 of his 6 threes. He ended up taking 14 threes in the game. Got a little trigger happy after that second quarter. But he did hit 6 of them overall. So that's still a good percentage. Him and Kevin Love off the bench, like giving them, like filling up the box score. But I think it's those 3 guys, Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley. When you have 2 guys like Mobley and Jarrett Allen, and it's really the versatility of Mobley that makes this all happen. Your defense can be so much better on the perimeter, right? They don't have to worry so much about Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton getting to the rim, or Giannis even getting to the rim, because you have those 2 guys backing you up on defense. And it's so apparent how much those 2 guys mean to this defense that has been the fuel of this Cavs like really good resurgence right now.
Oh, no doubt about it. Now, first off, you said 57 bench points. 48 of those were Osman and Kevin Love. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, you get them from somewhere, right?
No, I'm just saying that's awesome. Like, I'm not saying that to be down. I'm saying that is truly, truly awesome, man. Like, Kevin Love is really having a great resurgent year, and it really has just to do with them winning. Honestly, it has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with them winning and him now being engaged because of it. Defense, like you just mentioned, they are 3rd in defensive efficiency. Okay, this is their 3rd straight game where they've held an opponent to under 100 points. These are the Milwaukee Bucks. You know what I'm saying? These are the champs right here, man.
With all 3 of their guys. We talked about last week how Drew Holiday, Giannis, and Chris Middleton, when they play, they had been 18-3. Now they're 18-4 when those 3 guys play, because they just got a loss in this one.
True indeed, man. Like, they're really special to watch. And you just mentioned all the injuries. These are key guys. You know what I'm saying? Going into that, Sexton is a 20-point scorer. That's what he do. He put the ball in the bucket. You saw what Ricky Rubio was doing this year. You want to talk about all-stars? Like you could have made an argument for Ricky Rubio.
If they had off the bench all-stars, he would probably be on the off the bench.
Argument could have been made. You could have made the argument that he could have been one, or even 6th man of the year if you want to even go there too. You could have made that argument. You could have made the argument. He was having a 30-point triple-double when he got hurt. Like the dude was special. He was having a really special year for them. And then Lauri Markkanen, who had just come off a good game against the Bulls where he dropped 28 and 8 against them, man. Like coming off of that, hey, man, don't make me pull out the hot sauce again.
I was say that's Matt Peck's guy. Matt Peck one time, your co-host on Locked On Bulls, pulled out a Lauri Markkanen jersey in a meeting that I had. You got the Lauri Markkanen sauce.
One day I'll tell you the story how I got this.
If you guys are watching on YouTube. The Lauri Markkanen sauce.
Oh yeah, this is straight from Finland. I had a whole pack of it, man. Trust me, with the ranch. That's down in the fridge. But yes, Lauri Markkanen has been really, really awesome for them playing that small forward position. Him being 7 feet tall and being able to be agile and move. But Evan Mobley, man, my God, this dude 7 feet tall with that kind of agility is not fair. And he is a special basketball player. Not only is he that tall. I like to say I love when big men know they're 7 feet tall and play like they're 7 feet tall because some of them play small.
Yes,
he plays like he's 7 feet tall, but knows that he's also agile and he's kind of a down to earth guy too. Like he doesn't have this huge, massive ego too, man. But he's just smooth. He reminds me of a like smoother Chris Bosh kind of thing, man. Like he's really, really hot.
Speaking of down to earth, Giannis after the game pulled up to his press conference. And said, we sucked. We played bad. They made shots. They played good. They played better than us. If you read that out loud, it's the funniest post game, but it's even better if you know he's scarfing down some wings as he's doing this. He pulls out the Quaker steak and lube bucket and sits it down on the counter, sits down, smiles at everybody in the press conference and says, we sucked. They played. No, he sits it down. A reporter asks him the longest question I've ever heard in my life, and Giannis just looks at him and says, we sucked. We played bad. They made shots. They played good. They played better than us. Let's do a little preview. How many wings can you put down in a post-game presser? In one sitting, let's say in one sitting.
After a game like Giannis, I'm going to say he put down a good 5. I'm gonna say put down a good
5 wings.
Just 5. You're doing an interview. You can't eat and talk at the same time.
I guess he can't put down too many with the carbs and everything like that. But
yeah, but no, he's talking like you don't want just meat flying out at guys while you're speaking, man. He's got be cordial.
Cavs all of a sudden have 30 wins. They surpassed Vegas's over/under for them already, which is insane. But they're only 1.5 games back from number 1. We'll talk about that whole stretch a little bit more here in a little bit. But let's get into the next, probably most interesting game of the night. Which team, which national show starts with the Cavs and then goes to the Grizzlies and the Spurs right after that? Nobody else. Ja Morant goes off for 41 in this game. You get 20 points from Desmond Bane. His return has meant so much to this team when they play with him offensively. Jaren Jackson Jr., 22 points, 9 boards, and 6 blocks for him in this game. Man, this game came down to the wire too. The Grizzlies had a lead for a long time, but the Spurs, God love them, they fight in every single one of these games. They tied the game with 5 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go, they were only down 2, and then Ja Morant 3 times in a row just gets to the free throw line, hits all 6 of his free throws there, and that was basically the game. DeJounte Murray tried his hardest in this one. He finished the game with 16 points, 10 boards, 11 assists. He continues. I feel like every week he has a triple-double when we are covering his games.
Yes. No, that's a fact. Every week we've been doing this. He's had a triple-double every single time. And every single time I come on here and talk about, you know what, this dude should be an all-star. And then every single time I'm always confused at how they find these players. Like, I don't know how the Spurs do it, man, but their scouting team is amazing, all right? Guys that you're not even looking at, not even thinking of getting. Because it's not like they're in the top 10, like in the lottery picks or anything like that.
No, never.
But they're picking up some really excellent players that make true NBA impact, man. Like, it's really special and impressive.
But the Grizzlies get this win. Ja Morant goes off for 41. Couple of quotes after the game I found the most interesting, though. Ja gets his 41, 8 of them from the free throw line. He hits 3 threes, 8 assists for him, all that. Jaren Jackson Jr. says, we have the most clutch performer in the game at our point guard position. It helps in the clutch. That helps. Now, we're just diving into it. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. How many point guards in the clutch would you rather have than Ja Morant right now, the way he's playing this season? And we're not playing 2K rules. Bring nobody back from injury or anything like that. We start naming some of them.
Oh, I'm going to say 0. I want Ja Morant. Yes,
0.
I said it.
None.
I want Ja Morant
in the clutch. In the clutch. You need a bucket. You got a guy with the ball in his hands at the top of the key. You wouldn't take Chris Paul.
Nope.
Steph Curry.
Nope.
Damian Lillard.
Nope.
He's injured right now, but he's
back. Injured. Can't bring him in. No, 2K rules, maybe.
He's gonna be back. Trae Young.
Nope. Definitely not.
Would you count Luka?
Sure, you can count him. You can count Luka. You
can count him up, but you won't take him. Why would you take Ja Morant over everybody else?
Because Ja Morant is having just an incredible, special kind of year. And just watching him play, you know that he's getting the ball, okay? And watching him when he weaves through the defense, there's nothing you can do about it. He has the best left hand of any point guard I've seen right now. That dude's left hand is special. And did you see the layups he was making? The man falling to the ground.
James Harden would like a word.
Well, he can have a word, and the word is sit down. Listen, that is special out here, man. Ja Morant is up for MVP status, all right about now. He dropped 41, and I knew he was going to have this game when I heard that, he was dealing with a sick grandmother, man, and I hope his grandmother is, feeling better and doing well, for real. But you kind of knew that because that kind of hurts him, and that kind of hits players like that. They play a little harder, you know what I'm saying, when they're going through a little adversity and things like that. But my goodness, the plays this man makes on the floor. Every time it's the crunch time, watch the tape throughout the year. That's happened this year. Every time it's in the crunch time, Ja Morant's coming through. Whether he's getting the steal, whether he's getting the bucket, it's Ja Morant, man. I'm taking Ja and nobody else. Give me Ja.
When Ja Morant plays in the clutch, so within 5 points with 5 minutes to go, the Grizzlies are 13-5 in those games. He shoots just about 42% from the field, 50% from three, 87% from the line. That's what really got him the win in this one. He's a plus 1.9, so he's a positive in those minutes. Like he's killing it in the clutch right now.
And that's the key of what you said. He gets to the bucket, which means he gets to the free throw line, which means he scores. That's important.
Absolutely. A couple of other quotes after the game. You mentioned his grandmother. Ja Morant dedicated the Grizzlies win and his 41-point night to his grandmother, who is struggling in her fight against cancer. Quote, I just had to go out there and battle, knowing she's watching, knowing I couldn't be there with her right now. I had to put on a performance. That's what Ja Morant is all about. And then also he got a little bit of extra motivation. If that wasn't motivation enough for his grandmother, the Grizzlies Spurs game got flexed out of national TV. It was going to be a national TV game. They put the Heat Knicks game in there, which was a way worse game.
Terrible
we'll talk about later. And Ja Morant said, shout out to whoever took us off TV. That game was right there for you too. Shout out to that one. Shout out to that.
I love it.
I love a petty king, right? You
love
a guy
you
that
don't like
in.
nobody. You don't like
if
nobody. If
Michael Jordan can make up a player to be motivated about, Ja Morant can be motivated about getting flexed out of national TV.
Yeah, man. It works. He's crazy, and I love it.
All right, coming up, let's get into the top of the East. The Chicago Bulls played a game. We'll talk about that. The Brooklyn Nets played a game without their big three, but those two teams, plus the Cavs and the Heat, the aforementioned, are all bunched up at the top of the East. We'll break that all down coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about betonline.ag. It's the fastest and easiest way to put down some money on sports, Big Dave. You putting down some money on any of these NFL games this weekend?
Maybe. Maybe not. I'm going with them Bengals, though. I'll tell you that.
My Cincinnati Bengals, 7-point underdog against the Chiefs on the road. That game scares me, even though the Bengals beat the Chiefs earlier. Rams, 3.5-point favorite against the San Francisco 49ers. The over-under in that game is 45.5. That seems high, low. I don't know. The 49ers seem to play low-scoring games, but you can go put up money on any of those things if you're feeling confident about them on betonline.ag. Use the promo code LOCKEDON. You'll get a 50% welcome bonus. You can also put money down on basketball. Hopefully, we have some baseball to put some money down on later this season. Anything. Go check it out, betonline.ag. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, Big Dave. The Chicago Bulls get a win against the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors, man, they play everybody hard. They have Nick Nurse and those boys. They just play really hard.
Yeah.
But the Chicago Bulls get the win, 111-105. The big three, your big three in DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Nikola Vucevic, the Island of Misfit Toys big three. 69 points, 30 boards, 23 assists combined for those guys. They filled it up.
Yeah, that's special. And all three of them almost had triple doubles.
Right.
Like it was really, really special to watch that. But it was all about Nikola Vucevic tonight. That's who it was about. That's the guy who's been taking a beating all season long from a lot of Bulls fans because, he's been very inconsistent in his scoring. I've been on record on Locked on Bulls, my man Matt Peck, just telling everybody to chill on Vooch, just relax. It's a 2-time All-Star. He's going through a slump. He's never been a third option before. He's used to being number one. This is all brand new to him. They don't want to hear that. They're like, we want it and we want it now. He sucks, and that's the end. He does not suck. He is a very good basketball player. We're going to need him down the stretch. And he showed you tonight when he stepped into that three-pointer, when the Bulls were up 3 with a few seconds left, when he got that ball and stepped into a 3 and it went cash, and he put the lead at 6 and put the game away with that. I can't tell you that's the umpteenth time that he's done that this year. He has been amazing at that for the Chicago Bulls in the clutch. So show him some love, man. 17, 15, 8. The man is nice.
What about his game has stood out the most to you? Is it the fact that, he can get you 8 assists and he can dish it out, or is it the extra dynamic of the low post scoring? What is it about his game that's really stood out?
What's interesting is he's so complete on the offensive end that if his 3 isn't falling and his jumper isn't falling, he knows he's 7 feet tall and huge, and he could go inside and bully you and score that way, which is what he did tonight. He just went inside and scored on you. It's the myriad of ways that he scores. Everybody calls him, kind of tells he's like a poor man's Joker. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what they see in him, and I see that. That's true. But yeah,
or a rich man's Nurkic, either way.
Or rich man's Nurkic. Oh wow, that's brilliant. I like that. That's really good. That's really good. But yeah, man, like it's that aspect. Because that's what the good players can do. When one facet of their game isn't working, the game isn't over for them. They can go to another facet and dominate that way. He's going to the other facet right now because he realized that jump shot and that 3 isn't working. He only took 2 threes. You know what I mean? And he hit one of them, man. So he's getting his points inside, and it's good to see.
It is good to see. And now we're seeing the top of this Eastern Conference. It is just it's stacked right now. Miami Heat 31-17. They're at the top of this, even despite all of their injuries that we've talked about on this show.
Yeah.
The Bulls, a half game back from them. They are 30-17. So they're only a half game behind them. The Cavs, who we mentioned, game and a half out of there, they're 30-19. The Nets, 29-19 despite all their stuff. They're 2 games back. The Bucks are 2 games back. And the Sixers, 28-19, no Ben Simmons or anything. Wow. 2.5 games back from there. The Hornets in 7th are only 4.5 games back from number 1. Like, that's not even a lot of games right there.
It's not.
Who is getting the top 2 spots out of those 6 teams? Heat, Bulls, Cavs, Nets, Bucks, Sixers. Who is out of this next stretch here? We got the last 30 games or so of the season.
Right.
Who's pulling away?
I'm going to say the Heat, and I'm going to say Brooklyn.
Oh, I was ready for you to say the Bulls.
Look at you, man. Come on, man.
I was ready for you to go. I was ready for you to go full homer and just like the Bulls. Do you say the Bulls like you say the Bears?
I do not. I say neither, but but yeah, man. That is how you say it. The Bulls.
You think it's the Heat and the Nets?
I think it's the Heat and the Nets, and probably in third might be Milwaukee. And the Bulls might finish out 4th because of the injuries that we're dealing with. You're going to take a fall. There's no way you're going to stay in the top 2. But as long as we stay in that top 4, I'll be happy. But yeah, I see those 2 teams taking those top 2 spots.
It all comes down to injuries and whoever is available for you, right? Like Brooklyn plays this game against Denver tonight, and they don't have any of their big 3. They're in the second night of a back-to-back. And they're now all of a sudden, this Brooklyn team, they're 2.5 games away from the play-in.
Yeah, man.
This Brooklyn team, like, can you imagine? All right. They're in the play-in. They got to go on the road, and you have Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant playing against, I don't know, like the Wizards or something.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness.
Would that be the first 150-point playoff game?
It'd be the first 150-point playoff game in a half. Like, it's going to be ridiculous, man. They're going to put up a ton of buckets against them. Won't happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But, all of a sudden, the top of this East is so bunched up right now. It's just going to be who's healthy, who's not in COVID protocols, who's available. If the Heat guys stay back, I think you're right. I think that Heat team has all the pieces. We haven't really seen them at full strength with Kyle Lowry.
Right.
That addition, we haven't really gotten to talk about that addition this year because it's been, just Kyle Lowry or just Jimmy Butler or just Bam and Butler or just, it's just been, we haven't seen that complement of players all together right now. And they're still number 1 right now. That
still winning.
Heat culture has worked out for them, I guess, and without missing all these guys.
Yeah, man, it's impressive to watch, man. And they're another team kind of like the Spurs that pulled some guys you not even heard of, didn't even know existed, and they put them in. And Who was looking for Duncan Robinson? Seriously, who was checking for him? Nobody. And they went and they got him. And now he's just been thriving for that team, man. So yeah, the Heat are scary, very scary.
The Heat are scary. They're veteran, and you pick all the veteran teams, right? The Bucks. We expect the Bucks to kind of make a run here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When they get all their guys back. The Sixers, they could even make a trade. They could bring in some talent and vault themselves back up. The way Joel Embiid has been playing, I wouldn't be surprised if that team all of a sudden at the end is like vaulting up to the top. But the top of the East, man, it's crowded and somebody's gonna pull away, but we don't know who it is.
It is. Bulls are in it. That's all I know. we in it, baby.
We got young teams in the Bulls and the Cavs. Cavs way younger than the Bulls, but both
for sure.
Sort of younger teams that are up there with all those veteran teams. Like they're hanging around.
Hanging in there, man. That's all we could do. 30-17. All we can do is hang on because the injuries are piling up. And my goodness, get me to the All-Star break, please.
All right, we'll get into the All-Star break, but let's get to our break. We'll talk about, we'll play our favorite game coming up for all the rest of the games in the NBA. We're covering every single one of them. We'll talk about that coming up. All right, Big Dave, we got our favorite game that we play on Locked On NBA.
Count it up, count it up, count it up, count it.
Count it up. We got a bunch of games left in the NBA. We've gone over a bunch of them here, but none more appropriate than the Charlotte Hornets scoring 158 points against Rick Carlisle and the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are ready to be traded. It's like 1, 2, 3 Cancun and beyond for this Pacers team, I think. How more checked out can you be, I think? They are without Turner in this game, Sabonis in this game. LeVert did play, and he started. They're without Brogdon in this game. Like, they're just missing a bunch of guys, but it's still this team, they get scored 158 points on. Mm-hmm. Let me just talk about what the Charlotte Hornets did in this game.
Sure, please.
Points and a half. They set these Hornets all-time records. So the Hornets have never done these things. Okay. Points and a half, 87. That's the second half. They scored 87 points in a half. How many teams in the NBA total have not scored 87 points in a game? Like there are times when teams in the 90s and in the early 2000s, teams wouldn't score 87 points in a game.
That's a fact.
They did it in a half. Points through three quarters, 113. They scored 113 points through the first three quarters. Points in a game, most ever in the Hornets, 158. Points off the bench by a player, Kelly Oubre with 39. Threes made off the bench by Kelly Oubre, 10. Kelly Oubre had 39 points. He was 10 of 15 from three. The Hornets hit 24 threes, which is a lot, and Kelly Oubre almost hit half of them, which is crazy. According to StatMuse, he joins three guys, J.R. Smith, Danilo Gallinari, and Donyell Marshall. You weren't ready for the Donyell Marshall callback on today's show.
Nobody was.
The only players ever with 10 plus threes off the bench. Wow. That's according to our friends at StatMuse. But yeah, the Hornets, I mean, they're counted up all in and of itself.
Yeah, they're counted up legends right now, man. That is amazing. 158 is ridiculous, man. You know, during that broadcast, I heard that Pacers commentator say, you know what, the Charlotte Hornets, they play offense confidently. And I'm like, yeah, that is a great assessment of that. And I really give LaMelo Ball all the credit for that. That's his entire game. His entire game is confidence. Did you not see the dude walking around in a green suit? You know what I mean? looking like a cryptocurrency Riddler. Like this dude. I mean, come on, man.
Like Jim Carrey in the. Do you think that messed with Rick Carlisle's head? Because Rick Carlisle looks exactly like Jim Carrey, and he was wearing the Riddler suit, and it messed with his head. Wow.
So now he morphed into the new Riddler that's coming in the Batman? Is that what you're telling me what happened?
That's my conspiracy music. He was ready. He's playing 4D chess with Rick Carlisle. He wasn't ready.
We meet again, LaMelo Ball.
You must answer my questions 3 while I splash this 3 in your face. All right. How many teams in the NBA could, as currently constituted, like everybody's injured and whoever, could actually score 150 points in a game?
Well, I think the Nets can do it.
Nets could do it, yep. I think your Bulls could come up with it.
I think the Bulls could do it. I think Golden State could do it.
Golden State for sure.
I think your Mavs can do it.
The Mavs could not because they do not play fast enough. The Mavs are 29th in the NBA in pace.
Yeah, but y'all hit like 8,000 threes.
They wouldn't score them fast enough. That's what I'm saying. I'm taking the Mavs out of this by sheer pace alone.
By sheer pace. Okay. Yeah, Atlanta
Heat,
maybe.
Bucks, Cavs, Sixers, Hornets. Like, I'm not sure. Wizards. I think I would throw Wizards in there because they would also give up 160 on the other. On the other end,
So they lose the 160, 158. All right, I got you. All right, I got you. Oh, but a tough loss.
We got to throw the Jazz in there. If the Jazz are all healthy, like when Donovan Mitchell comes back, Gobert, that team can score a bunch of points.
That's true. They can put the ball in the
I think they're
That's
first in the NBA in points per game.
The Suns could do it.
The Suns will throw the Suns in there as well. Let us know in the comments how many teams in the NBA, as currently constructed, could actually score 150 points. All right, the Sacramento Kings. I may just ban Sacramento Kings talk from Locked On NBA. I did it on our water cooler. So we do a water cooler every week with all the Locked On NBA hosts and bring them together and we just talk and have fun. And poor host Matt George joins the water cooler every week, and we talk about the Kings every week because it's a really fascinating thing for us. And I banned it this week. I said no more Kings talk. There's just no more. And so now, as the channel manager, I may just ban it from the podcast. Like no one else is allowed to talk about this Kings team.
Wow,
they lose 104 to 121. They were winning at one point.
Yeah,
they were up by 14 points at the end of the first quarter.
They were.
By the middle of the third quarter, the Hawks were up by 30 points. That is, I don't know do you count this as a run? 71 to 27. Not sure I count that as a run because it's not like I guess it's sequentially, but it's a little like disjointed. But a 71 to 27 stretch for the Atlanta Hawks.
Count it up. How many timeouts do you think were called during that stretch? My goodness, man.
Alvin Gentry ran out of timeouts. Rick Carlisle, when the Mavs would have really bad games like that, he would call and so many timeouts that he would get technicals. Like he would like, we don't have another timeout. I'm just gonna take it. We're gonna take the technical. Just all right. What's one more point with this 30-point deficit we have right now?
Listen, I think you should go and check Alvin Gentry's left hand right here in the palm and see if it's bleeding from him doing this all day, calling timeout, pressing his fingers against his palm like that. Dude, that's a beating, man. Wow. And they're another team I think is about to trade some people too.
The Hawks got 70 points off the bench, according to Brad Rowland, our Locked On Hawks host. That's a season high, which I'm not surprised that 70 is a season high for points off the bench. Yeah. But their previous season high this year was 40. They outscored their own season high from points off the bench by 30 points. All right. Are the Hawks more like the team that lost 5 straight games? They just lost 5 straight to the Lakers, the Clippers, the Heat twice, and then the Knicks. Mm-hmm. And then they've won the last 5 straight now against Milwaukee, Minnesota, Miami, Charlotte, and now Sacramento. They won this game in a big comeback. So are the Hawks more like the 5 loss in a row team or the 5 win in a row team?
I'm going to say the 5 win in a row team because I was actually, pretty high on them coming into the season. I thought they would be better than what they are. And I also thought that even though they got off to a late start, that they would find their way because that's exactly what they did last year. You remember they started out 14-20 and then they got rid of their coach and then they went on that run and ended up in the Eastern
it was
Conference
the Lloyd
Finals.
Pierce run. Yep.
Correct, man. So I think they're more of this team right here. They're a good team. There's just a ton of talent on that team and it just hasn't worked or meshed or come together yet. But they made the trade for Cam Reddish, have gone 5-2 since then. I think they're more like the team that we're seeing win because they look a little more together.
This is a team that it's strength in numbers, right? It's the Warriors' old moniker, where if you have, they can just keep throwing guys at you. Okay, well, Trae Young comes off the floor. Okay, well, but Bogdanovich goes in and replaces him, or you have guards off the bench, and then when you miss some of those guys, then all of a sudden coming off the bench is like, okay, Skylar Mays, or like, Kevin Knox or somebody like that, right? They're just, or DeLon Wright is coming up off the bench to try and replace some of that scoring. It just doesn't work. So when now they've got these guys back, they have Hunter and Collins and Capella and Herter and Trae Young and Danilo Gallinari and Bogdanovich, and DeLon Wright even played well in this game. Lou Williams got 15 off the bench. Okongwu has been great for them. He scored 18 in this game. When you have all those guys together, all of a sudden your rotations are so much more solid. That means so much in basketball. So yeah, I think they're more like the 5 straight wins team, but we'll see if they continue that. Maybe they're just a second half team and that's it. And they'll just go on this crazy run and they'll join that group at the top because right now they are still out of the play-in right now.
Yeah. And the key thing about what you didn't say right there was Trae Young, only 17 points. He didn't have to go out there and do anything crazy. 17 points, but he had 10 assists. So, yeah, that's kind of game you want. That's efficient.
The game that got flexed to ESPN for the Memphis game, Miami Heat get the win 110-96 against the New York Knickerbockers. The Knicks never led in the game, according to Gavin Shaw, our Locked On Knicks host. The Knicks don't play with cohesion, and their starters are still playing a ton, and they stink.
There you go. That's about it.
That I thought that really summed it up well, Gavin Shaw. Good job. In this game, the Knicks starters do stink, man. In this game against the Heat, RJ Barrett, minus 36. Julius Randle, minus 34. Kemba Walker, minus 30. Evan Fournier, minus 27. Mitchell Robinson, minus 18. Off the bench, Obi Toppin, plus 20. Emmanuel Quickley, plus 16. Quentin Grimes, plus 18. Like, is that just that the starters suck and you got to make some kind of move, Tibbs, right?
Yeah. He has to make a move, man. He tried to make the move by benching Kemba Walker and then said, oh, well, you know what? I don't think that was it.
Very publicly benched Kemba Walker and then brought him back. Don't understand that. But who's out first for the Knicks now? And the Knicks are also out of the play-in. Mm-hmm. Who's out first? Thibodeau or Julius Randle? Because I've heard from people like they gotta move Julius Randle. There's no way he does the thumbs down thing, and he's just not meshing, and he's not playing well. And who's out first though? Thibodeau or Julius Randle?
I'm going to say Julius Randle is out first. I don't want to say he's peaked. I don't want to say that at all. But Tibbs has a way of riding a guy. When you're the guy, he has a way of riding you until you can't. You're like, you know what? You're kind of heavy on my back right now. And Tibbs is like, nope, you just need to be work harder, move harder, go harder, man.
If anybody's gonna know Tibbs, it's you.
Yeah, man. Listen, Tibbs will wear you down. All right, Tibbs will wear you down.
Ask Lou all day. He knows.
Yeah. Oh man, ask Joakim Noah. Like, there's a bodies just strewn throughout his coaching career.
Ask Andres Nocioni. He knows.
Oh, man, dude. He will wear you down. He will wear you down, man. So, but he's a great coach. He really is. He is an excellent basketball coach. But when you're the best player, he's going to ride you. He's going to go with you a lot, and that's what it's going to be. Julius Randle had that year last year. He was amazing. He was awesome. He was great. But to get that repeat thing and play those same amount of minutes, you know, knowing the size that he has and knowing how the game catches up with you like that, I don't know, man. He doesn't seem happy either. You're right. That thumb down thing was serious. Like, he does not seem happy in New York right now.
You say Julius Randle hasn't peaked. So you think Julius Randle's going to have another season like he did last year?
Yeah, I just don't want to say
even if he goes somewhere else. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Who thought he was going to have that season? You know what I mean?
People didn't think
that was going to happen. So I don't want to just throw him out yet and say that, you know, he's peaked and it's over for him yet. But I will say Tibbs will ride you. That's all I will definitely say.
On the other side, the Miami Heat don't have Kyle Lowry, but they do have Butler and Bam Bag now for a little bit. Yeah. Butler has 22. PJ Tucker has 20. Duncan Robinson had 25. Tyler Hero off the bench had 22, 21. So they got contributions from all of those guys. PJ Tucker, though, had one of those all-time stat lines: 20 points, 1 board, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks in 22 minutes. PJ Tucker, all of a sudden, a.k.a. PJ Buckets, going off with the Lou Williams like Swaggy P line. Count it up. How many Chuckers would be proud of that stat line? 20 points, 1 board, 0 assists, 0 steals. Lou Williams would be proud of that stat line.
Melo would be proud of that.
Melo would be proud of that. Melo with the Lakers, but only at home. Melo would.
Oh, absolutely. Joe Johnson in year 15 would be proud of that stat line.
Oh, I'll take one better. Joe Johnson in the Big Three would be proud of this stat line. Swaggy P would be proud of this stat line.
Oh, a Bulls classic, Antonio Blakeney, who I nicknamed Going Up because that's all he did when he got the ball. It was going up. It's what he done.
And it's and because it's my Twitter handle, Nick Van Exel would be proud of that. Would be proud of that stat.
Oh, we forgot the king, man. Let me just Dion Waiters. It's going up, bro.
Dion Waiters versus Tim Hardaway Jr. in that rookie sophomore game that one time. They would both be proud of this stat line from
Craig Hodges in a 3-point contest. It's going up, man.
There you go. All right, the Dallas Mavericks get the win against the Portland Trailblazers. Trailblazers without Damian Lillard, without Larry Nance Jr., Robert Covington, Cody Zeller. Nas Little, Dennis Smith Jr. I can keep naming guys that they played without, but the Mavs get the win. They bounce back from their terrible game they played against the Warriors the night before. The Mavs defense all of a sudden is not playing that well, which is pretty interesting for the Mavs, but Luka Doncic gets his triple-double. Jalen Brunson is the story in this one. 20 points, 11 assists for him. His development has been absolutely incredible for this Mavericks team. Yeah. He has been the guy that kind of rights the ship while Luka is on the bench, and the Mavericks needed that so badly. They needed another secondary. They needed a secondary creator next to Luka that could create his own shot and create a shot for somebody else. And Brunson was always a guy that could get his own shot, but he could not create a shot for somebody else. And this year, he's really stepped it up. In this game, 11 assists, 0 turnovers. That has been just an incredible development for the Mavericks here. And Jalen Brunson
I wonder,
was the
though.
32nd pick in his draft.
Wow.
33rd pick in his draft.
I wonder. A guard who now can create a little better for your team. I wonder who helped him with that. I wonder how that happened for that young man right there. I'm going to say it's that man, Jason Kidd, helping him out. 11 assists and no turnovers. He's trying to get that $20 million contract a year. Trying to get that $20 million per year, man.
He's an unrestricted free agent. That's a big subplot for the Mavericks. But let's play. How many players should have been taken ahead of Jalen Brunson? Or shouldn't? Let's just go with shouldn't be taken. I'm going to go rapid fire with you. DeAndre Ayton. Yes.
Yes.
Marvin Bagley. No.
No.
Luka Doncic. No.
Yes.
He should have been taken. Yeah. Jaren Jackson.
Yes.
Jaren Jackson. Yeah. Should have been taken. Trae Young. Yeah. Mo Bamba. Yeah. No. Get out of here, Mo Bamba. Wendell Carter Jr.
No.
No. Yeah. Get out of here, Wendell Carter Jr. Colin Sexton.
Ooh.
No, get out of here, Colin Sexton. No, Kevin Knox. No, Mikal Bridges. No. Yes, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, probably still taking. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Still taking ahead of Miles Bridges. Nah, get out of here.
Yes.
Should have been taken over Jalen Brunson.
I'm taking Miles Bridges.
All right. Well, you like Miles Bridges. Yeah, I get that.
I do.
Jerome Robinson. Nah, get out of here. No. Michael Porter Jr. All right. Even with the injuries and all that
stuff. With the back injury. Yeah.
Troy Brown Jr. Nah, get out of here.
No.
Zaire Smith. Dante DiVincenzo. Lonnie Walker. Kevin Huerter.
No.
That one's a tough one, but get out of here. Josh Okogie, Grayson Allen, the kicker, Chandler Hutchinson, Aaron Holiday, Anthony Simons. He had a good game in this one. He's scoring some buckets, but get out of here. Mo Wagner, get out of here. Landry Shamet, no. Robert Williams, no. Time Lord, get out of here. Jacob Evans, where did he go? Zanin Musa, he's out of here. Amari Spellman, he's out of here. Elia Kobu, Javon Carter.
Oh my God, this is awesome. You're going ahead on.
We named 8 players that should have been taken over Jalen Brunson. So incredible draft pick for the Dallas Mavericks.
Shout out to Jalen Brunson.
Shout out to Jalen Brunson. All right, couple games left here. The Clippers get another win, the second night against the Orlando Magic. The Clippers had that crazy bounce back game and the comeback game, and now they get the win over this Magic team. And they don't have anybody. They don't have Kawhi Leonard still. They don't have Paul George. They're just missing so many guys. The other night when they came back with Luke Kennard and Amir Coffey and guys like that. Count it up for me, Big Dave. Ty Lue is better than how many coaches in the West? Like, which coaches do you think are better in the West than Ty Lue right now? Because he's leading this team.
Ooh. I mean, it's a very small handful. I would definitely put
Monty Williams?
Monty Williams, yes.
Okay, Monty Williams.
Monty Williams.
Steve Kerr.
Ahead of him. I put Steve Kerr over him as well.
Taylor Jenkins.
Because he wins.
Taylor Jenkins is hard, but I'm going to say no.
No.
Quinn Snyder.
No. I'm taking time. No.
Jason Kidd.
No. No. And he's from, he knows that area, man. But no, not yet. It's his first year. I can't say he's better than Ty Lue already.
Michael, don't call me Mike Malone.
No. I'm going to, no.
Chris Finch.
No.
That's the coach that's the coach. Yeah, I had to look it up real quick. I was just make sure. Frank Vogel about to be fired.
Come on now.
Chauncey Billups.
No.
Willie Green.
Nope.
Greg Popovich.
Yes.
Yeah,
obviously.
Greg Popovich.
Yes.
Thunder Rockets Kings now. We're at there. But yeah, not 3. That's 3 coaches you would take ahead of Ty Lue, and you could argue some of those ones as well. So Clippers, really well coached team. All right, last one here. Phoenix Suns get the win against the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz playing without Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. They're in a tailspin right now. They're only 2 games ahead of the Mavericks in the fourth seed in the Western Conference. But it comes down to the end in this one. But the Mavericks, the Suns get the win because they're just really great in the clutch. Chris Paul, best clutch point guard in the NBA, unless you ask Big Dave. Chris Paul though finishes 21 points, 5 assists, 4 boards. He's important for them. Devin Booker gets 43 himself with 12 boards. I think that's a career high for him. Chris Paul though, top 3 in MVP voting, yes or no?
Oh, yeah, why not? Yeah, let's say yes. I'll put him at 3, man. I mean, the team is 9.
They're the best record in the NBA, right? They're
best record in the NBA out of the West. Yeah, 38-9.
38-9.
In their last 8 road games, they're 8-0. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're that good, man. 15 points in the fourth quarter, like you said. You know, even though I'm still taking time, but yeah, 15 points in the fourth quarter, 21. He's just been amazing. I'm tired of count, and I don't say this negatively, but I am tired of hearing about this man getting double-digit assists and no turnovers. It's insane that he continues to do that, man. That just blows my mind every single time. Chris Paul, for the winning and what he's done with that team, he's got Bismarck Biyombo out there dropping double-double. You know what I'm saying?
Bismarck Biyombo out there.
You feel what I'm saying? He's got just a friend out here dropping them triple-doubles.
You got what I need. I'm glad Chris Paul's my friend.
I'm glad Chris Paul's my friend. Oh, baby. Hey. Shout out Biz. Rest in peace, Biz. We love you.
Rest in peace. Basketball Reference's MVP tracker has Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, and then Chris Paul, number 4. Who are you putting him ahead of?
Oh, Giannis. I put him ahead of
I think and Embiid too. Like Embiid's been
I
great.
wouldn't put him ahead of Embiid right now. Dude, Embiid's somewhere else, man. He's playing honestly like he's the best player in the NBA. That's how he looks right now. He looks like he has no weaknesses at all right now. That dude is on a whole nother tier.
But you put him ahead of Giannis.
I'll put him ahead of Giannis. Yes, I'll put him ahead because Giannis hasn't been out there a lot. You know what I'm saying? For me to say that. And the team is chilling right now. You know what I mean? They're kind of chilling. Chris Paul's not chilling. Yeah. Chris Paul's on a mission right now, man. So, yeah, every game means something to him, and he plays like it. Yeah, he's third. I put him third. I don't have a problem putting him third.
There you go. That's Locked On NBA. We did 9 games in about 39 minutes. So I'll round it. I'll round it there, guys. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On NBA. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll have a Locked On NBA trade deadline show where some of us will be making an appearance, hosted by Josh Lloyd and John Corrales. Incredible guys. Guys, thanks so much for listening to the most fun NBA show, Locked On NBA Thursdays. Peace out. Boom.